In Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi takes the newborn Luke Skywalker to Tatooine, handing the son of Anakin Skywalker over to his only remaining family while Obi-Wan goes into hiding. From a distance, the Jedi Master watches over the boy, seeing to it that he is not discovered by the Empire and that he reaches adulthood, at which point Kenobi will begin Luke's Jedi training. Not long before dropping Luke off at the homestead, Obi-Wan had engaged his former apprentice and Luke's father, Darth Vader, in a lightsaber duel, which concluded with Obi-Wan cutting both of the newly proclaimed Sith Lord's legs, as well as his only remaining human arm, clean off his body. Obi-Wan would stay for a moment to ensure that Vader could not escape, but he could not bear to watch as his fallen brother was lit to flames, and the arrival of Darth Sidious left him no choice but to flee the scene. As he departed, Kenobi was confident that Vader would soon die, and that would be his assumption for some time as he began his new life on Tatooine. But the story that Obi-Wan shared with Owen Lars, while not necessarily untrue, was lacking many of the gory details about what really happened to Anakin Skywalker, particularly as it pertained to the devastating conclusion of the brotherhood between Anakin and Obi-Wan. From Obi-Wan's perspective, Owen and Beru are on a need-to-know basis, and getting into the darker details of the story would be of no benefit for them or for Luke. And so he essentially just gives them the brief, watered-down version of what happened. As far as they would know, the clone army turned on the Jedi and Anakin Skywalker was killed during Order 66. They would not know that he turned to the dark side, they would not know about anything he did after his turn, and they would not know that Obi-Wan had anything to do with his death. And again, this is all true. Anakin's turn to the dark side marks the death of the man they had met all those years ago when Anakin returned to Tatooine in search of his mother. As Obi-Wan tells Luke later in the story, when Anakin turned, he ceased to be Anakin Skywalker and became Darth Vader, and the good man who was his father was destroyed. Both to Darth Vader and to Obi-Wan, Anakin and Vader are different people, making this version of the story an accurate depiction and also one that saves Owen, Beru, and Luke from the burden of everything else that happened on that day. Getting into the rest of the story only would have brought unnecessary pain and worry to them as Luke grew, not to mention that it would have likely alienated Obi-Wan from their family even more. Nonetheless, this story was the biggest reason that Owen insisted Obi-Wan remove himself from Luke's life. He did not want Luke to become a Jedi and risk suffering a similar fate to his father, believing he could take on the galaxy and then being killed by the Empire. And that's without him knowing all the details. Imagine how he would have reacted and treated Obi-Wan if he had known the full story. Or even worse, if he'd come to find out that Vader had actually survived, which isn't something that Obi-Wan could have told him because it wasn't something he even knew at the time. But for the time being, Kenobi accepted Owen's request. He of course had no intention of remaining isolated from Luke's life forever, but he was in no rush to begin Luke's training, and for the time being, it was actually better that Luke not know who he was. Obi-Wan had every intention of enduring a long time of solitude on Tatooine, and so he did stay away for the most part, really only turning up when Luke was in danger or when he felt that an important conversation, generally one about Luke's future, needed to be had. So that is the story that Obi-Wan told Owen and Beru. It was enough to explain why he had brought Luke there, why things were changing in the galaxy, and why he had to go into hiding, and that was all they needed to know. But that is going to wrap things up for this video, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video or you found it useful, remember to drop a thumbs up to support the channel, subscribe to the channel for future Star Wars content, and of course, may the Force be with you always.